Hey guys, this is Parvez. I'm making this video to share some quick information about employment permit here in Ireland. Now, a lot of people have questions about employment permit. So what type of visa do you apply for? What is the actual cost? Who applies for a permit? Is it you or the employer? What are the documents needed? Now, I recently got my employment permit and thought of sharing some information about it. Now, you could be someone who is not yet in Ireland but has plans of coming to Ireland for education, or you're already here and studying, or you recently graduated and seeking employment, or you are working on your graduate visa and are soon to apply for your permit. So, well, if you don't know what a graduate visa is, please check out my other video where I've explained the different types of visas here in Ireland. But yes, the first thing you should know is there are two types of work permits. One is a critical skill work permit and the other is a general work permit. Now, be very careful when applying for any of these. This depends on the occupation. So, example, now I am a software engineer. So I checked that my occupation was listed under critical skills permit, so I applied for critical skills permit. First things first, you should know what is the type of visa you should apply for. Once that is figured out and you have decided to apply for critical skills permit, you need to make an application. Now here I'm considering that you've already received an offer from a company, you've been through the interview process, received an offer, and now you are looking to apply for a permit. Now you should generally apply for your employment permit 2 months or 3 months before your existing visa expires. So example, my visa was expiring on 31st of October 2016. So I applied for my employment permit on the 1st of August 2016. The reason you need to consider that time span is because the process is that your application is submitted along with some documents, which I'll talk about in a minute, and there'll be an officer who will verify all the documents. Now, not always are the documents right. So if there's something missing, the officer will get back to you and ask for those documents, and you need to reply. And this is why this process may take 2 or 3 months sometimes. In my case, it took me 1 month, so it can be fast as well. Once that is done, then second is application. Now this application can be done by you or the employer. Now this depends on which company you are applying for. For example, if you're applying for a big company, then big companies usually have their own legal department that looks after visa process. So all you have to do in such companies is present your documents like GNIB card and your passport, which has a stamp on it specifying your visa details, and the company will take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. They will do the application and you'll have your permit. Now, if the second is where the company is a small scale company or it's a startup, so what you do is you have to take the initiative. So you need to know all the rules and you need to apply. So here's what is involved when you do the process. You would need your documents as GNIB card, your passport, and the offer letter. Now, because I applied for a critical skills, one of the rules for critical skills is I need to have an offer for at least 2 years. So I need a offer letter which tells that I'm working with the company. It may not necessarily say that I'm working for 2 years because I mentioned the 2 years in the application form that I filled for the critical skills permit. So once you have these documents from your end, which is your passport, GNIB card, and the offer letter, you would need 2 things from your employer. Now, if your company has never applied for a visa, a work permit for an international student or an international candidate, and this is the first application, then your company needs to present a P30 form. Now this is a revenue form which has to be not more than 3 months old. So what you do is you go online, fill up the critical skills example, critical skills application, fill in all the details about you and the company, and you have all the documents scanned and ready from your end. Ask your employer if that is the first application, then certainly your P30 is needed. If it is not the first application, then the most recent application has to be within 1 year. or else the company will have to provide a P30. But I would say, on a safe side, always ask for a P30 in advance to the company so that they can have it ready for you. So once you have these documents and you've filled up the application, submit this, it'll go to the DJIE, then you'll get an officer assigned. Officer gets assigned only when the documents you've submitted are fine. You will get an email from DJIE saying that, well, you need to make an online transfer of the visa fee, and the visa fee is €1,000 for 2 years. But there's a twist to it, which I'll explain. So you need to pay €1,000 first. Now, if the company is sponsoring you, which means they're ready to pay for you, they will transfer €1,000 to the bank details that are given in the email, or else you need to transfer on your own. And once the €1,000 are sent, you need to also send a proof of the payment you made. So what you do is, let's say you transfer online from your AIB account, and in that you can find the transaction details, take a screenshot of that and just write an email back to the DJIE along with that screenshot saying payment is done and it's good to go for the next step. Once that is done, you should wait for a time, usually takes around 2 or 3 weeks, where you would straight away get your visa to the home address that you've provided. So it will come in a post and you will have your work permit. Now the work permit should come for 2 years. As I said, that's what happened in my case. Again, depending on your visa, check out the website and figure out all the rules. But once you have your visa, you'll get a copy, and so would the employer. Now this is not where it ends. You need to take this visa, book an appointment online, and book an appointment for the GNIB office. Now what is a GNIB office? Well, it is the immigration office. It is where the visa is processed and you get a card that tells your immigration status. So you need to book an appointment for that office to get that card for your employment permit. So employment permit would be your papers. Now let's say your appointment is on the 1st of November. So on the 1st of November, you would have to go there with your employment permit, your passport, your existing GNIB card, and that's it. And you need to have your card for your debit card for making a payment of €300. That's the fee for your GNIB process as of now in 2016. €300 is what it takes. You go there, the officer will check all your documents, and you pay €300. You get a receipt for that. And once you have it, your GNIB card will only be issued for 1 year. Although your work permit is for 2 years, your GNIB card will be for 1 year. What that means is next year, you again have to go to the GNIB office, having an appointment. You need to pay €300 and get 1 more year by just showing your work permit. So that way you get your 2 years visa. So that's pretty much about getting a work permit and the documents and the turnaround time. I hope this information was helpful, and if you guys have any questions, write a comment and I'll try and get back to you, or if there's any suggestion, just let me know. And check out my other videos in which I will talk about interview process here in Ireland.